Well, I didn't see that coming. Hey, here's the hard truth. 80% of workplace disruptions don't come from your competitors. They come from shifts that you weren't even looking for. It could be shifts in technology, politics, or even cultural changes. These are disruptions that blindside leaders who don't actively scan the horizon. So today, I'm going to show you why environmental scanning isn't just an academic term. It is a valuable skill for leaders who want to future-proof their workforce. Hello, my name is Glen Guyton, and on this channel, we will help leaders such as yourself develop future-ready strategies that close skill gaps and anticipate disruptions. I've spent a number of years equipping organizations to see around corners so that they're not reacting to change, but leading through it. Now, what is environmental scanning? Think of environmental scanning as a leadership radar. It's the systematic process of monitoring external forces that can shape your business and your workforce. Now, the model we're going to talk about today is called PESTLE. That means political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental shifts. Now, as you think about this tool, it's not about predicting the exact future, but it's about spotting weak signals so that you can act early. Now, why as a leader should you care? Now, disruption rarely announces itself. By the time it makes headlines, it's too late. For example, think about remote work. Now, remote work wasn't new in 2019. Hey, I've worked at home since 2009. But leaders who scanned cultural and technological shifts adapted faster when the pandemic hit. Others, well, they just scrambled. As a matter of fact, I just read a story about someone who predicted the shift in remote work in 1970. Yeah, that's not a joke. In 1970, they called it the digital cottage and talked about people working at home. So this has been on the radar for a while, but it really hit home in 2019. Now, leaders who ignore scanning are like drivers who never check their blind spots. Sooner or later, what's going to happen? You're going to crash, you're going to run over somebody, you're going to cause an accident. So we have to pay attention to what's going on around us. Now, here are a few practical ways that you can start scanning in your organization. Schedule a weekly scan. This only takes about 15 minutes, reviewing news from outside of your industry. Begin a PESTLE team. So assign different leaders to track one of the categories that PESTLE stands for. Watch out for weak signals. Now, weak signals are tiny shifts in employee expectations, tiny shifts in consumer behavior, or whispers of new tech that is on the horizon. Maybe people are starting to adopt something new in the workplace. And then, as your team explores this, do a quarterly debrief. Turn signals into scenarios. Like, what if? What if this trend begins to grow? What if this takes off? What would it mean for us in our organization? Now, it's easy to make mistakes as we start to think about the future. So here's some mistakes people make when they try to implement environmental scanning. Number one, thinking that scanning equals prediction. It's not fortune telling, all right? If I could predict the future, the lottery wouldn't be at 1.2 billion or whatever it is today. Scanning is pattern recognition. We want to see trends. We're looking at data. It's not about fortune telling. Mistake number two, only scanning competitors. Your next disruption will likely come from outside your industry. Yeah, we have to pay attention on a regular basis to what our competitors are doing, but we also need to know what's going on outside of our industry if we want to get a glimpse of the future. And mistake number 3, treating scanning as a one-off exercise instead of a rhythm. Environmental scanning should be part of your ongoing strategic planning. It's nothing spooky. You don't need a crystal ball. I actually have a crystal ball back here on my shelf back here. Can you see my crystal ball? Hey, that doesn't help me do anything. It just looks good on camera. So scanning needs to be a part of your regular routine for strategic planning. Now, again, going back to my highway analogy, imagine driving down the highway and never checking your mirrors. Now you're confident, cruising along, but the danger isn't always in front of us, is it? It's in your blind spot. Environmental scanning is that mirror check. It keeps you from crashing your entire strategy. So look around, look at what's going on. You got to keep looking ahead, future focus, but also look what's going on beside you. And sometimes you even have to look in a rear view mirror occasionally. So if you want to lead a future ready workforce, you can't afford to fly blind. Start scanning this week. Pick one area outside your industry and track it. Then ask, if this grows, how does it affect my people? And if you want a structured way to do this, check out the resource in the description. Or if your organization needs help building a scanning process, reach out and book me to speak at your next event. And I will be more than willing to help you get started.